Hey guys, welcome to the Diamond District. So today I wanted to talk about the second worst thing that affects your ability to progress in life. So the number one thing that is always going to stop you from progressing is inaction. It doesn't matter how many books you read, it doesn't matter how many videos you watch, it doesn't matter if you're watching this video. If you're not actually committed to, not just commit to doing action, but you are actively doing action, you are actually going out there and doing external things that could be measured as external results, that is going to be the number one thing that is always going to hold you back. Results. Now, the second thing, which I find to be a little bit more detrimental to someone who is actually trying to get somewhere and who is showing up, is inconsistency. Inconsistency is one of the biggest killers of motivation. Let me break this down. So when I was 20 years old, I made a commitment that by the time that I was 30, I was going to be something. I was going to have a vague amount of money. It was just really undescript goals, but essentially I was going to make it, whatever it is. And I had tried my hands in so many different things. I had tried my hands initially at fashion, and then eventually at painting, stone sculpting, back to fashion, eventually music. And when I can look back at where are the results that I was looking for, it really lies in the fact that in each of these ventures and venues, I was very inconsistent. I mean, I was consistent up to a point, and then I stopped being inconsistent. I stopped being consistent. When it came to fashion, there's a point that if you're serious about it, you're essentially going to learn pattern making. And pattern making is a very detail-oriented process. You can't make mistakes, because if you do, the garment cannot be worn and it's not going to come out the way you want. And once I reached to that point, I was like, I don't know, this is a little too difficult for me. Then I got to the point with painting. And I had reached a certain level of skill where it's just like, okay, bro, are you going to learn the fundamental aspects of drawing so that way your paintings can become more detailed? Once I had reached the point where I was even able to make money off of my level of painting, I never took the time to get better. And ultimately, because I wasn't challenging myself, the moment I did something of my level that I wasn't necessarily excited about, I just subconsciously and consciously stopped without really even taking the time to figure out why. I just stopped. When it came to stone sculpting, I had bought the tools. We were prepping. I was prepping myself mentally, trying to figure out like, okay, well, I'm going to be doing this at my home, so I'm going to be buying this and I'm going to be buying that. And the day my stone sculpting classes were over, I literally left all of the tools that I bought in class, and I never went back to get it. And the stone that I bought that I was chiseling, I didn't even take it home with me. I didn't do anything. I just stopped. And all I really ever had to do with any one of those things was just keep showing up, regardless of how I felt, regardless of the pushback, regardless of the challenge. I would have been incredibly far in any of those fields. Even better is I would have been far in one of those fields, and I would have reached a certain level of skill where I could have went into another one and paired them beautifully well. But because I was so inconsistent in this, so inconsistent in that, I look back at the things that I did with mixed emotions, because I'm thinking like, yeah, it's really cool that I did these things, but where are my results? Almost all of the results that I feel like I've gained has occurred within a 3-year time frame. So for the past 3 years, I've gained more results than I did within the previous 6. Because at the very least, whether it was fast or slow, I was still trying to be as consistent as possible, as consistent as I possibly could with the resources that I had. And could I have done better? 100%. Could I have done more? 100%. But it's the fact that I kept showing up that little things started to build on top of each other. Where it went from, yes, I had this idea. I had this idea from 20, but it wasn't until I was maybe 25, 26, where I actually got an LLC. And then from the LLC, several months later, I paid for the packaging. Several months later, I do this. Several months later, I do that. Just that the gap was very large, but I made more progress in trying to be that 1% better than I did prior in any of those fields. If I had just stuck it out, if I had challenged myself, I don't know where I would be. The results I would have gotten for any of those things would have been crazy. But inconsistency is like truly like the real equivalent to being inconsistent is literally somebody performing mid-concert and somebody running on stage and fucking them up. That's literally what it's like. You're doing great. You're doing well. You are picking up momentum. You're picking up stride, and then you stop. You've killed all the momentum you've killed all the momentum you have built. And that's why I think inconsistency is one of those true killers, because when you are the type of person who has a burning ambition, you're trying to get somewhere, you're trying to be somebody, that burning ambition, it might die down, but it'll never go away. And that's what it was for me. It never went away. It might have minimized, it might have got smaller, it might have changed. My perspective might have been different. My view of myself may have changed, but the burning desire to be something was always there. But because of the inconsistencies, I found myself to be exhausted. I found myself to be tired. Then I started questioning, like, damn, will this ever happen? And you know what's on the other end of that, damn, will this ever happen? What's the point? And after what's the point, there's no more questions. You've stopped completely and you've given up, and then you're trying to find your way in corporate America, just like everybody tells you to do, trying to find a regular job. You end up becoming an employee, and you're at the mercy of somebody who doesn't even fucking know you. Your family, and your entire livelihood is at the mercy of somebody who does not know you. And they can choose to dramatically impact your life just to make sure they're on budget. And that's what happens when you're inconsistent. You end up exhausting all of your energy and all of your fire. Being consistent does the opposite. Being consistent fans the flames. Being consistent will help give you a boost. Literally, like these past couple of days, I have felt more energy in doing these videos and uploading beats and moving forward with life than I have in years. Because I'm finally consistently showing up in a real fucking way. And on top of that, I have the content to prove it. I have a ledger to prove it. I have results to prove it. I have a body of work to prove it within just this very small amount of time. So being consistent is going to be a driving force when motivation is not available to you. Being consistent is going to be your North Star when you're not really sure what you should do. You can look back at what you've always done and be like, well, I did this yesterday, so I'll do it again today, and I hope it works. Be consistent. Don't let your dreams die. Don't let your passions die out. Keep showing up, keep doing what you need to do, and keep shooting your shot. Keep being fucking consistent, and watch how your life is going to change.